Hi, everybody. I'm George Zaharoff, and I'm here today with Chris from.
Yes, that's my name.
Do you know when I look at you, I think of the video, with the Scottish, the one,
the pure Scot.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know that was a video idea. It was only a short video, about a minute, but I came up with it in about 30 seconds, and that was to tie in with George the Fragrance Apprentice's Pure Malt video. I know he'd gone to Edinburgh, he's really excited to put that one out, and I wanted to make him laugh. I wanted to do something that tied in with his video, help give him a bit of a promo push towards that video, but also entertain myself by dressing up as a Scottish guy, putting on the tam o' shanter and a bad Scottish accent.
Did you have a huge? Did a lot of people come and say, "Oh my God, this is great"? Or did you?
Yeah, it was a nice response. Whenever I do those, every now and then I have crazy little ideas, and I do these little comedic videos. Probably because I enjoy the acting side of things as well, so I do those little things, and they have a good response. But sometimes they're not as well viewed as other videos because it's not a fragrance related video. It's a bit more of just a fun video. But you know, that's part of me, so I throw those in there. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, I loved it, and you know, yeah. George, yes.
Aye.
And so what happened is that I watch you guys, and
yep.
So right now I'm in York, in England.
It's amazing that you're here.
I flew into Manchester and drove.
Incredible.
And I kept hitting the left side of the car, hitting the curb when I'm driving. It's not easy to stay on the left lane here.
No, well, I recently drove on the other side of the road in Portugal, and you know, I was driving like an old grandma because you're so cautious about your orientation on the road completely changes, so everything's off. And I was the same. I was like, you know, not wanting to hit the curb. I feel your pain.
I'm trying to do the seat belt this way, and it's this way when I'm driving. and so I watch you, and I watch these in the fragrance community, some of these influencers and what do we call creators, content creators. Yeah. And I always wonder, you guys are talking about other people's creations and the story behind it, and you're critiquing other designs, creations, and I thought, what's her story? You know, I see you and I'm like, what's her story? You know, is he married? Does he have kids? You know, what does he do for I don't want to say for real, because this is very real, and I don't want to minimize what you're doing, because when I first started a year ago, I had no idea of anything of this, nothing, and the depth and the amount of, oh my God, global in the fragrance community it's still mind-boggling to me. And so I'm doing this review the reviewer because I really wanted to get a snippet of each of you and just see that how, you know, just what you guys are all about.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think that's quite refreshing, because essentially what we do is put the spotlight on you guys, but you're flipping that and putting the spotlight back on us. And I think it's really nice that you're taking an interest in what we do, so thank you.
And I really love everybody. I really love it. I feel like this is one big love fest, right? And
yeah, so, me too. I'm all about the love. The best thing for me is the people that I've met and the crazy places I've ended up and the crazy people that will fly over from Chicago to I love it. I tell people, and people that I know have seen my journey on YouTube kind of change and grow, and when I talk to them about it, as the months go on, the stories just get crazier.
I have a feeling that it's just going to get even more.
Well, I hope so, because I love it. I love it. You know, it's one hell of a ride so far.
So let me ask you. You were born where? We're in York. York? So
no, I live in York. We're in York now. I live in York, but I'm not from York. So I'm from Bolton, which a lot of people know as being a place close to Manchester. Football is a great way of, not that I'm a football fan really, but football is a great way of letting people know where you're from. So football teams, so Bolton Wanderers is the team, one of the oldest teams in the English Football League. So Bolton is right next to Manchester, so Manchester was a big part of my life growing up. Worked in Manchester and visited Manchester a lot. That was the place to go for shopping. And then I came to university in York, and that's kind of where my story in York began.
So, but if we go back to your childhood for a minute, let's go back a little bit here.
Okay, is this some kind of regression?
Right, and so what brought your parents there? Your parents are originally, like, who was there?
Yeah, born and bred in Bolton,
okay.
my parents and grandparents, so and strong line of the family going back in Bolton.
Is that very common here in England, that a lot of people stay in their area until just recently? Because people pass their land down or their homes from one to the next, which is a very...
I don't really know about that, because looking at my family, I've got 3 sisters, so there's 4 of us. 2 of us have moved away, and
what number are you?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest,
yeah.
And you had to watch over 3 girls.
Yep.
I
felt like their dad at times. I was like, "You're not going out in a skirt like that, or you've got too much makeup on, or you're too drunk. You're hanging around with the wrong boys." So, yeah.
There's an old saying in Greece that when you have a son, you have to. I told you this, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 girls.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. I don't particularly like hearing this, but
okay.
you may as well
when you have a son, you have to worry about one. When you have a girl, you have to worry about many of them, and so it's very difficult. I don't know how I would be able to raise daughters in this day and age, especially with everything that's going on.
Well, I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm up for the challenge.
But you had 3 girls.
Yeah, three younger sisters. Yeah, so one of them similar age to me.
Okay.
But then 2 that there was a bit of a gap, and then 2 that were a bit younger.
So as the oldest,
and they're all gorgeous, and I love getting them in the videos as much as possible, because the viewers love my gorgeous sisters in the videos. So I'm lucky that when I meet up with them, when we have family gatherings, I can try and kind of twist their arm into appearing on the videos if I'm lucky, if there's time.
So that's great, because I'm hoping that I could put your your sisters on here as we're talking, just so they can have some B-roll.
Yeah,
so
we can put some images.
So were you? Because right now the way I look at you, and I'm sure that the way people see you, you're good looking. You have a presence about yourself. You're muscular, right? You look fit. Yeah. And so in high school, did you play sports? Were you very active in?
Yeah. So my mum and dad both very sporty.
Okay.
Both played a lot of sports, and I did all through school. I played a lot of tennis. I was in the football team. Played rugby for school and for my town
football is
team.
soccer.
Soccer, sorry,
right.
Yeah, soccer. So yeah, did a lot of sports through school, and kind of. So my life has always been half kind of sport and half media and filming and creation. I've always had an equal interest in both.
And you did this even in high school? You liked to do the arts?
Yeah, in high school, I remember when VHS home video cameras became a thing, and my dad brought one home one day. I immediately started making short films with whatever I had, with my family, with my friends. And when I think about those times, I think about, I love the editing process. Although it is time consuming, I love editing. And I started editing with VHS tapes on 2 VCRs. Yeah.
That's wild.
So we had 2 VCRs where we had to trim one bit, cut one bit, and it was a very rough, ready way of doing it. And it wasn't a slick edit, but it was the start of editing, and that's kind of where the earliest memory I have of creating content. Yeah,
and that's really incredible, actually. Okay, so now you're in high school. You finish high school, and you decide to go to York to leave your
go
familial
to university.
home, right? And so, what did you go to school for?
So I did film, television, and theatre studies.
And were the parents supportive of that?
Very, yeah. Okay. They've always supported everything that I've done. I came out of university and I wanted to be an actor, and I think everyone kind of realizes that's a hard thing to get into. It's a hard thing to break into, and my parents supported me all the way. Every now and then along the way, my mum would say, "Hey, sure you don't want to be a teacher?" Or try and, plant a seed of maybe being sensible and having a legitimate career. But I always had followed that passion that I had for creating content, for acting. And even though acting was a career I wanted to pursue, I've always been interested in the video production side of things as well. So, I guess that leads on to YouTube, but we'll
get there in just a moment.
Yeah.
So you finish university, and what happens now? So you have your degree.
Yeah.
You're in York. Did you go back home?
So I stayed
in York.
I stayed in York for 12 months, and I used York as my base because I thought it was as good a place as any. And I had the sense that if I went home, I would be taking 2 steps backwards. I felt I finished university and I had momentum, had all this passion and energy that I wanted to thrust into trying to gain this acting career. And I thought if I go home, that might stall all that. So I stayed in York for 12 months and I sent out hundreds of headshots and CVs and letters to agents, to casting directors. And most of them, as you might imagine, were thanks but no thanks. Or a lot of them, I found would say, okay, great, let us know when you're in something and we can, if you've done anything on TV or if you're in a play, and we'll come and see it. And I was thinking, well, that's the reason I'm writing to you guys, is because I want to get into that thing. So I have nothing to show you because I haven't worked professionally yet. So there's a hard catch-22 situation that, people won't consider you for professional work unless you've done professional work. But how do you get that? So I had to just push and push and push to try and get that first professional job, and then I started to gain a bit of traction after that.
We're all waiting now to hear, what was your first professional job?
So the first professional job I did was a TV commercial for, what a conservatory is? A glass building that a lot of people have as a bit of an extension onto the house. So there was a company that were making conservatories, and I had to play this guy who was a geeky, nerdy bird spotter with binoculars around my neck and terrible deerstalker hats. And the joke of it was I was looking through the binoculars at this kingfisher, but the name of the company was Kingfisher Conservatories. So the joke of it was I was admiring my own conservatory, and I put on this really bad Yorkshire accent, and I had to put on this really high-pitched, squeaky, geeky voice, and it was all terribly embarrassing. And it was my first paid television TV gig, and it got me going, and it made it real. It made it think, okay, I've done a professional job on screen, so this is a legitimate thing I can pursue. So with you,
is it on YouTube now, the commercial? Can we find that?
I haven't checked. I don't think so.
Do you have it?
No, I don't have it. No, it's long gone.
I wonder if it has it. Do you know, it's interesting because in this business, it's, you work hard to get a gig or a job, and then you do it, and it's like, well, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
And it's like, it goes from, you have these highs and these lows, or the lulls or busy. And so what was your, did you do, how many of commercials have you done up to this point right now, and where we're talking?
Not that many commercials, actually. In terms of being on screen for a commercial, maybe 3, 4, 5. Just done one recently where I've just got a very blink and you'll miss part in a commercial. But that's what a lot of commercials are, that sometimes you're speaking, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're featured, sometimes your background. You just go for whatever jobs you can. I've done more commercials just with my voice. I'm also a voiceover artist. So I do voiceovers both from home, and I travel to studios where people, will record me and put me on everything from radio adverts, TV adverts, documentary narration. I'm using my. Well, there you go. So that's the whole point. That's the good thing about doing these chats. So I've made, and I had a really good TV job on a big television here in the UK called Coronation Street, and I was on that. I know
Coronation Street.
Yeah,
you were on it?
I was on it for about 12 months. And had a great pivotal role. It was a gay storyline, which was a pioneering thing for television at that time, because it was early 2000s. I was very proud, very honoured to be part of that storyline. Had the time of my life doing it, had an absolute blast. And I met a lot of the other actors on that show, and they were all doing voiceover work, and that was their way of just giving themselves more opportunity to earn money, especially in the downtime of acting, which there's a lot of. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do that. So I used that impetus and applied to a voiceover agent who I'm still with. I've had the same one for years, the Voiceover Gallery in Manchester. And it was the best decision I ever made, because I've made way more money off my voice over the, maybe that's saying something, but I've made way more, good face for radio, huh? Made more money off my voice over the last 15, 20 years than I have off being on the screen. So
that's your full-time job, is doing that, or do you?
I can never say it's a full-time job, because I've been very lucky that I've been working consistently now for with a certain company for the last kind of 8 years or so. That's almost unheard of in this industry. To have a rolling gig like that, it's been amazing. But usually you'll do a job and then you might not have a job for 3 months, and then you'll do a job and then you might have a month's gap, or sometimes you might have 6 months gap, and that's not full-time work. So
how did you get into YouTube? What was the spark that You know, okay, so hold on. So you're doing the commercials. You're doing film work. You're doing plays, right? You were in plays too.
Yeah,
Did you? Okay.
Did plays. Yeah.
And so, like Shakespeare plays type of thing.
Yeah.
Or?
Yes, I did some Shakespeare.
What were you doing? What actor? Like what part?
So the Shakespeare, the main Shakespeare that I did as a full play was as a student. So I actually studied in Keene State University in New Hampshire for a semester
in the United States.
In the States, and we did a massive, colourful, amazing production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I played Demetrius in that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely loved it.
So York is York like the Hollywood of England
Absolutely
or something?
Absolutely not. I don't think there is anywhere that's the Hollywood of England.
So I was just going to say, like, why York and what?
Well, I came here to university and I met Helen, who's now my wife.
Right.
And I briefly went back home to live with my mum and dad's for a while after university because, of course, we're all penniless and have debts to pay off. And then eventually moved back to York and we moved in, together and got married and had kids.
2 girls.
2 girls.
What are their ages?
5 and 7.
5 and 7?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What are their names?
Lily and Evie.
Look at that. You're shining. You're smiling.
Honestly, they're the best things in my life.
So what do you think? So you decide now. What made you say YouTube and fragrances?
So I think a lot of things aligned. A lot of the things aligned all at the same time. So YouTube. I was discovering that YouTube was not just a place to watch funny cat videos. There was some actual very valuable content on there. I'm big into mountain biking, so I discovered whenever I needed to do maintenance on my bike, I could go to YouTube and find out how to change a derailleur or whatever. And then I started coming across mountain biking YouTube channels, and there was this one guy in particular, BKXC, great channel, guy based near San Francisco, and he was going around the world. He monetized his hobby of mountain biking. He quit his job, he did the thing he most loves in life, mountain biking, and started a YouTube channel, monetized it, and basically he gets paid to do the thing he loves most in the world. And I thought, I wonder if I can get a piece of that pie. And as much as I have a passion for mountain biking, in a life that I have with a family and a house and a mortgage and all that, it wasn't practical to be thinking about going around the world or even around the country to make videos about mountain biking. I thought, but I would like to create some content. I would like to have a go at starting a YouTube channel. And the other thing that aligned at the same time was I was just getting more. I've always been into fragrances, but just in terms of owning the odd designer fragrance. A good friend of mine was starting to recommend some Tom Fords to me, so I was starting to smell some more high quality stuff from the private blend, and it was really opening my eyes up to what amazing scents were out there. And I started researching more fragrances and what I could buy next, and I came across YouTube channels, because first of all you just put it into Google, and then you realize, and then videos come up in the search engine, and I was like, okay, click on that. There was this guy called Jeremy Fragrance, and then I started seeing these other guys like Red Essence and Brooklyn Fragrance Lover and Fragrance Bros. I was like, this is actually a thing. I was like, I didn't realize that people made videos about fragrances. So
how'd you come up with Frag-Mental? Like, what made you say, okay, I'm going to start a YouTube channel?
Yep.
What year are we at now?
This was November 2017.
Oh, this is literally 3...
Yeah,
and you have how many subscribers?
As of now, today, just over 18,000, pushing 19,000.
So that's very quick. It goes to show you how lovable you are, right? And
thank you.
And so Frag-Mental, what made you get up? What made you think of Frag-Mental?
Well, I wanted to. I saw that these fragrance videos, I was getting interested in them and learning about these fragrances, but I saw they were getting a lot of views, and I thought, well, maybe that is something I could do. I don't know that much about fragrances at that time, but I thought I wanted to share my journey of learning about these fragrances with other people out there, and I thought maybe I can uncover some information that might be useful to people, and so that's what I started doing. I just thought, well, I'm going to just turn my phone on and talk in front of my phone. And the first few videos felt weird. They felt strange. I felt out of water. They're still up. They're still there. After I turned off the camera of all of those first few videos, for the first few months actually, I kind of had this guilty feeling of, what am I doing? with myself here? Why am I talking about fragrances? And I was very embarrassed to tell people at first.
Because people connected to feminine, right?
Yeah, that was attached to it. That's what I was worried about. And I didn't even tell my wife for the first 3 months. I just kept going upstairs for hours on end editing these videos, and she just didn't really know what I was up to. And one day I just thought, I'm gonna have to tell her, because she might, worry about, where I'm going.
You're a closet creator.
Yeah. So I was for a while, and so I came clean, and I said, look, for the last few months I've been making a YouTube channel, and it's doing all right, and I might be able to grow this, and I'm really enjoying doing it. I'm really enjoying learning about the fragrances. I'm sharing it with other people, and I might be able to find a way of using my skill set of enjoying being in front of the camera, but enjoying everything behind the camera in terms of the filming and the editing, because I have a love of photography as well. So it ties in with that, especially with the Instagram photographs. I said, maybe I could do this and I might be able to earn something from it.
Right.
I might be able to do something I love in terms of learning about the fragrances, the medium of creating content, enjoy all that, and maybe make some money out of it. And so that was
right.
And here I am.
So I'm at a party in San Francisco or New York, and we start talking about you. Right. And I go, Chris is, what is it that you would hope that you want people to know about you, or that you would like to know?
Okay. I've encountered, since I've been doing YouTube, unfortunately, in my life, I surround myself with positive people, and I love positivity, and I like to exude that. I feel positive about a lot of things in life. I've had a good life. I'm very blessed. I've had a good life, so I feel positive.
You still do?
Yeah. Right. I still do, absolutely. And doing YouTube, I've come across a lot of negative people that I wasn't coming across in my life. And it's a little bit of a sad side of YouTube, but that's life. Maybe I've had a sheltered life, I don't know. But yeah, there's some not very nice, there's some toxic people out there. And I know that I think a few people I have said, unfortunately, have to read these things, that they don't vibe with me. I'm not their thing. They can't stand me. I'm too presentery and upbeat and happy and bright and fake, and more like an infomercial rather than anything that's of value to anybody. But I guess I would like people to know that that's me. Maybe I do turn up things on camera a little bit more in terms of the energy, but I want people to know that I'm a positive person, I'm a passionate person, and that's coming over in the videos. I don't want to be overly negative, because I am naturally a positive person, and I would like people to know that that positivity is me. It's not fake. It's just that's me in my life, and my YouTube channel should reflect me and my passions and my feelings, and that's what I try and convey. So I just would like people to know that what they're seeing on camera is
you're authentic Chris. So the crystal ball,
a heightened version of authentic Chris, in order to deliver in a professional manner.
You want to provide entertainment. You want to be able to have a little bit of escape when people watch who you are. I mean, so what do you see in your crystal ball? You look at a crystal ball, and what is your wish for yourself?
Well, I just want to. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be happy in how I do that, and I want to be happy in doing that has to be something that I enjoy doing, and I love creating content. I love making a video and knowing that people out there are waiting for my uploads and enjoy them, and the channel is growing, and if I can get this thing to the point where I can still enjoy creating the content and help provide for my family, that's me monetizing things that I enjoy and that I feel passionate about, and being able to help support my family at the same time.
Well, it's gonna be nice to see you do that, because you're going to do it.
That's my aim.
I appreciate it, Chris.
George, thank you for inviting me for a chat. I've really loved meeting you.
Thank you for watching, and goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.